Okay, May 1st is still going to be in Because 50, and then the statement we're going to do that day is we worship extravagantly because we have the power of the Holy Spirit. That's actually going to be 2 weeks in a row. We have the power of the Holy Spirit. Remember, all of Because 50 is based upon Acts chapter 1, verses 3 through 8, where Jesus is in this 40-day period where he appears to them, and then they have a 10-day period where they're waiting for the power of the Holy Spirit. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more tricky, and I'm not sure I have a whole lot of ideas other than, first of all, around song theming would be the power of God and God and our experience of Jesus more than, earlier in Because 50, we're going to deal with things of even in the intellect or community or mission. This is all around that whole thing of God gives us his power through the Holy Spirit. What does that mean? How does that function? How can I have more of that in my life is going to be the idea. So again, I always think in terms of stories anyone on your team could tell or any analogy that you could use. And this would, have you ever had a prayer answered in a very powerful way? You know somebody that was healed of a sickness, or you just saw God do this really, really wild thing where you didn't know where the money was going to come from, and the money showed up that day. And I've had that kind of thing happen before. Just anything, answered prayer, the power of prayer, the power of experiencing. Any time that maybe you were at the Full Life Conference, there's some great stories coming out of there where people experience the presence of God. Sometime in worship when you knew that you were experiencing the presence of God. Talk about that as a worship leader, but again, any of the musicians, any of the tech people could talk out of that. And then songs that have to do with that theme. But that will be 2 weeks in a row. And also it may not be a bad idea to have a time kind of carved out of the worship set that was a little bit more focused on prayer, letting people get silent, letting people get still, letting people seek God, and creating some space to where maybe he can speak a little bit better rather than always, there always being kind of chaos going on. We don't always have to feel like that the music is filling every space. We could create space to experience power. But again, May 1st is all about the Holy Spirit's power.